Hey family, how y'all doing? This is KD or Coloma from Dream Company Movement, and thank you guys for tuning in. This particular video today is going to be about, it's actually called, Where Are This Generation's Revolutionaries? Where are this generation's revolutionaries? And what kind of sparked this, kind of give you a little background. I've been teaching and, on purpose for a while, and just helping people understand the significance of their life and their contribution, and not just with what they believe, but also, their profession, their talents, being able to turn those things into things that will not only bring you fulfillment, but will also make the world a better place and get paid to do the thing that you love. And so I talk a lot about that, those of you who've kind of seen some of my videos, but this particular video, recently we had an actual murder hit our country, and of a rapper called Nipsey Hussle. And so the reason this kind of inspired this video is because obviously I actually did not know him. I did not know his music, so I'm just being perfectly honest. I didn't actually know who he was until after this tragedy. And so this is not an attempt to try to figure, make some type of declaration about what I think happened or why it happened. All I know is that it happened. And so, and then the impact that came and that followed that was what inspired me. The things that people were saying about what he was doing, and how there's so many lives that he had touched. And so I had already kind of been feeling that way for a while, and this kind of thing just kind of bubbled over. And so this was the inspiration for this video. And so I wanted to talk about, where this generation's revolutionaries. Now, most people would hear that word and they think, people in history like, excuse me, like Mahatma Gandhi, who of course fought for, I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget, fought for Indian independence, from British rule and the rights of the poor, right? You got Pancho Villa, who fought against a Mexican dictator, Susan B. Anthony, who advocated, of course, for women's rights. And then, of course, Martin Luther King Jr., who, of course, was a big leader in the civil rights movement. When you hear revolutionaries, you think about people like that type of status, that type of stature. But I'm not talking about them. I'm actually talking about you. Yes, you. I am bringing this video to you because it's going to be a charge to you, and it's going to be a challenge to you to step into your rightful place. Now, I'm not talking about trying to make sure you make a name for yourself. Obviously, we know who these people are, and we know what they've done and their contribution to American history, and the history of their particular culture and how they've impacted the world itself. However, I want to focus in not on trying to make a name or even trying to make a living, but making a difference, how significant your life is, and why we need you to be who you are in order to make a difference and to ultimately make the world a better place. So when I say revolutionary, I'm not talking about the big names. I'm talking about you. I'm talking about you going to work 9 to 5, raising your kids, pursuing your career, going to school, whatever it is that you're doing, whatever your grind is, whatever you're on. I'm talking about you being that revolutionary that you were meant to be. Now, let me talk a little bit about what it means, for what actual revolution actually is. A revolution is defined as a dramatic and wide-reaching change in the way something works or is organized, or in the way people think. That is a revolution. Now, a revolutionary is just someone who participates in this type of movement. Anyone who participates, that's what I mean. It doesn't have to be the figurehead of the movement. It's just anyone who participates in this dramatic, wide-reaching change that changes the way people think, that changes how things operate in our world, changes how things are organized, changes the way we treat people. You're a revolutionary. You are part of this system. You are part of this movement, and therefore you are considered a revolutionary. You may not have a big name, but you are just as important as the people who have that big name. And so, why does this apply to you? This isn't going to be a long video, guys. So I'm gonna give you a heads up. Because I think that the message that I'm going to give you guys doesn't need to be that long. It's really, again, meant to just challenge you. Why does this apply to you? Why does this apply to you? Because you're here right now. You're here right now, right? You could have been born at any time in history. You could have been born at any time in history, but God saw fit to put you here right now. Your voice, your gift, your personality, your passion, your vision, your profession, your organization, your contribution right now. It is significant right now. God saw fit to put you on the earth to do something right now. The world is being impacted by your life, your existence in this time frame, in this moment, in the area you live in right now is proof that you are meant to change something. If there was no need for you, you wouldn't be here. If there was no need for your vision, your gift, your passion, your person, there was no need for it, you would not be here. And of course, like I said, I teach on purpose because I don't believe there are accidents. I don't believe people are just here. You know what I mean? It's like even if your parents told you were an accident, God meant for you to be here. There's nothing created that is here without a purpose. Everything has a purpose. You're here with an assignment. You are here now. You weren't born 50 years ago. They didn't need you 50 years ago, but they need you now. They don't need you 100 years from now. They need what you have and your gift and your contribution. They need that right now, right? Why are you a revolutionary? Because you're here. You are meant to bring dramatic and wide-reaching change to the world around you. Now, a lot of people think, okay, well, I don't have a big position or some type of platform. You know, I'm not a celebrity. I'm definitely not, maybe not even rich, you know what I mean? Matter of fact, I'm struggling financially. How can I have impact? Well, it's not about that. It's about impacting your sphere of influence. Right? Your area of gifting, your area of leadership or responsibility. It's not about trying to, again, make a name for yourself. It's like we need the people that are behind the scenes, that are in the homes, that are in the schools, that are in the streets, we need you there. Every little bit, every word you may say, when you tell someone you love them, when you tell someone or you don't tell them you love them, when you're there, parents, when you're there for your children or you're not there for your children, it has dramatic, wide-reaching, generational impact, right? And so this is a charge to you guys. This is a charge. This is a challenge to you guys. Parents, right? You are revolutionaries in the way that you love and raise your kids. Stop struggling to make sure they got Jordans and a phone and put a book in their hand. Okay, let's teach them how to handle money. Let's teach them how to own their own businesses instead of bouncing around from one job to the next. It's like let's teach them how to create and sustain generational wealth. Stop being, it's like we got the kids at home and it's like, we just want quiet in the house. Parents, you done worked all day. I get it. You got a 9 to 5. Some of us got 10 to 12 hours a day. It's like you come home, you just want quiet, you want to feed the kids, make sure the homework's done, make sure everybody's okay. You just want peace and quiet in the house. And usually that looks like everybody watching TV for the rest of the night. But I want you to start pulling back on these electronics. Start pulling back on these things that keep the kids busy and out of your way. Invest in them. And a lot of us struggle with this, to invest in our kids' futures, because we aren't investing in our own. We don't see it. We don't see it as a worthy pursuit to try to search for something better. Like we try to go on vacations and we try to make more money. I'm not talking about material things. I'm talking about actually making your family name, your legacy. The men or the women in your family are better off because you were here. Because of how you raised your son, he treats women better. The world is a better place. Because of how you raised your daughter, it cuts down on teen pregnancy. I mean, it's like there's so much impact to be had just by being a mother and a father. Not a big name, not someone who's a celebrity, not someone who's in the public eye. Just being a daddy, just being a mother, you can have so much impact on our society and our social relationships. Artists. Here's my plea to you. Every artist, every author, every poet, actor, comedian, singer, we need you to stop playing. We need you to stop procrastinating. It's like, I know you out here trying to make this money and you trying to use your gift, and being in the public eye is a part of that. But I need for you to, we need your imagination. We need your inspiration. We need your creativity. We need you to inspire us, not to just be entertained by you, but be inspired by you to be better, to do better. It's like we don't want to just the art shouldn't just be for us to watch and be, have a good feeling and be entertained by, but we should see you and be like, I can do that too. I can go there. I can become this. It's you're in the public eye. You're in that place where you can help people understand that they don't have to be you, but they can be them. You know what I mean? Inspiring them to go deeper. Those of you who are in education, check this out. If we can't provide our children with the quality learning and opportunities within the system that has been provided for us, then we create our own system. You hear me? Okay. We create our own schools. We create our own programs that focus on the things that we value as a community. Why are we waiting around for people to tell, like they done took our art out of school, they done took our music out of school, why are we waiting around for them to tell us what we should invest our time in? Let's create our own. Why can't we? Why can't we? Really? Why can't we create our own and create generations that, of course, that are producing music that inspires, creating art and media and things that go into the media that inspire. It's like our educational system is, I've talked to many people who are in that system, and I consistently hear the same complaints about, not being able to really teach effectively and not being able to really reach every child and not really being able to give them what they need to be successful in society. And then we complain about how our kids act, and we complain, which of course starts at home. It's not the teacher's fault, but of course it's a community, and the school is something that's a part of our community. It's like, if we can't go to a place and they provide what we need, what we value for our children, let's make our own. Why can't we? Let's do it. I don't see why we can't do it. Let's create the things that build the things that we value, not the things that they say that we should value. To those that are in health and wellness, we need this. I need y'all. I'm with all the respect that I can muster. Okay, I need y'all to step out from a system that has succeeded in making us comfortable with living with various types of sickness for the term of our lives, instead of actually expecting a cure, actually expecting to be healthy, right? We need you guys to innovate in a way that will promote health, actual health, as opposed to being dependent on pharmaceuticals for the rest of our lives. I know you are out there. I know there are people that are in this field that are researching, that are trying to find ways to eliminate cancer and HIV and all these different things. It's like, we need you to innovate. We need you to not be, and I know it's difficult because I've talked to several of you that are in this profession. I know it's difficult being in this field when there's so much stacked against you, and there's so much, I guess, red tape and just different things that keep you, if you don't line up and you don't, kind of fit into the narrative that's being fed to you, then you won't be successful in that profession. You won't be able to proceed and grow in your profession. And I get it, but we have to, at some point, move from trying to just make a living and trying to take care of mine to say, I'm here to make this world a better place. I'm here not to just make sure my family's okay, but I want to make sure your family's okay. I want to make sure our community is okay. You know what I'm saying? I'm not in that field, but those of you who are in that field, we need you to innovate. We need you to create. We need you to step out and be courageous and work against a system that is successfully sabotaging us. You know what I mean? It's like, there is no reason why, medications that should heal us of one thing but cause 4 other illnesses, 4 other problems that we have to continue to get medication for. I see on Facebook there's this meme that's going around. There's this little cartoon of a doctor, and he's pointing at the board, and he says, a patient healed is a customer lost. That resonates with me so strongly, because it's like, there isn't any benefit, there's no profit in making us better. the profit is in keeping us ill. So, say what you want to say, as I'm being a conspiracy theorist, whatever you want to say, but the truth is the truth. It's like, let's just look at it. It's like, how come we still have the same diseases we had 30 years ago, 40 years ago, with all these intelligent people, all these geniuses in the medical profession, and we still haven't managed to come up with better solutions than to keep people on medications for the rest of their lives? I'm challenging you. I'm putting a charge to you. We need you to innovate. We need you to go further. We need you to step out and be courageous. And this one's probably the most important one, because it tends to be the most dangerous. To those of you who are striving to create legal and political reform, we really do understand that there's a genuine danger to your lives. Like, seriously, those who profit from oppression will always oppose those who are trying to seek equality and forward thinking. Okay? Sometimes that opposition is violent. I'm not going to even say sometimes, I'm going to say often that opposition that is violent. You know what I'm saying? Anytime throughout history where those that were in power, that were oppressing others, if someone stood up against them, the results generally were not pleasant. So often it cost that person their lives. And I'm not going to give you because we've already kind of talked about some of those revolutionaries that we know their names. A lot of those people were martyrs. A lot of those people their lives were taken because they stood up for something. And so we really do understand that there's a danger to your lives. But check this out. We need y'all to keep standing. We need y'all to keep pushing. Okay, we need y'all to show us how we can support you better. Show us how we can cover you so that, we can make sure our community is moving in a certain direction. We can't just be like, well, it's dangerous to think this way. It's dangerous to talk this way. It's dangerous to try to push back against this system that's been in place for 100, 200, 300 years. It's like, well, are we going to stand up, or are we just going to keep complaining about a system that is failing us? Or we're going to do something about it. Even, check this out, if it costs us our lives. And I'm not trying to put it out there like you should just keep putting your life on the line. I'm in this fight with you. I have mentoring programs and things that I'm doing in the community to help people grow in these particular areas. I'm prepared to partner with people and assist them in any way that I can. And I teach other people to do the same. Why? Because we are stronger together. And it's difficult for you to be out here by yourself, and we don't want you to be. We don't want you to be out here trying to stand up alone. We want to support you. So show us how we can support you better. Now check this out. Although the world is dealing with race issues, this is not a race issue. I'm not dealing with race. This is a mankind issue. This is a love issue. It's about embracing our differences so that we can all work together for a good future for everybody. Not just my race, not just my gender or my religious or political affiliations. It's a better world for everyone, period. So that's my challenge to you. It's like, be the revolutionary that you were meant to be. You were meant to create dramatic and long-lasting and generational changes, not just from the standpoint of your job, your profession, but just as a person, just in the way you treat your spouse, just in the way you raise your kids, just in the way we our educational system. All of this is forming the world that we live in. And it's like, instead of just pointing fingers and saying this isn't right and I don't like this and this, let's do something about it. Let's change our own. Let's be the revolutionaries that we were created to be. You were put here specifically for this time and this season. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? Let's make a difference.